It is the RIOT podcast. Welcome back to the working week.
Hopefully everybody had a nice long extra day for the weekend, which is why there was no podcast for yesterday. We did not work.
Yep, but we made it in today, and that's despite my hot dog problem, apparently. It did not kill me.
If you want to go to RadioU Official on Instagram, we're just worried. And Isaiah, it's nice to have you a part of the show, too, because if it was just me worried, I'd feel like it'd be like a thing.
It's
like
just Nikki,
you
whatever.
against Hudson,
Yeah.
But I think you know, too.
We see it.
I think Isaiah is more the driving factor behind the concern.
When I come in here every day, me and Nikki are just trying to make people happy.
Yes.
And when we see a picture of you that looks happier than we've ever seen you here, then we start to get worried about, how you're feeling here when you come in with us every day.
Why don't you want me to be happy?
See, we do.
But
that can't be your sole source.
That's right. There's a hole in your heart. And it's not hot dogs.
If he's not holding a hot dog, he's just not happy.
They're eating away at me.
We just want to see you happy at other times in your life, too.
Yeah.
And the hot dog stuff is going to have to end one day.
Maybe, what if we just incorporate hot dogs into other areas of life?
Hey, please just promise me when you go to the doctor, because one day down the road you will, and the doctor will say, hey, not so many hot dogs. I want you to tell us, okay? You have to tell us.
I'll let you know.
He's like, we've never seen something like this before. It looks like there's like an unreal amount of have you guys been eating a lot of hot dogs?
Like, what are these numbers? They're off the charts. And that'll be you'll be like, oh, it's the hot dogs.
The hot dogs, yeah.
What is it, nitrates or something?
They're the culprit.
We talked about that. We also talked about like the one animal that I feel like is always stressed, but you don't want to make it more stressed, and that's a cat, which is one of like the animals. There's not a lot of animals I'm afraid of, but like an angry cat.
They make you nervous?
They make me really nervous. Like a scary cat or a cat that looks kind of mean is one of those things that I'm just like, I don't want to be around you at all.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm actually with you on that.
They're just misunderstood.
Oh, is that what it
They're
is?
hurt. Hurt cats hurt. Okay? So you don't know what they've been through.
Well, then I'm just going to, I prefer to stay away.
All right.
Yeah.
Fine.
And hey, apparently, according to what we talked about today,
They
cats
want you
prefer
to.
that
Yeah,
also.
that's what they want. Exactly. That is exactly what they want.
You just didn't know, but you had it right the whole time.
We also went through a movie that Hudson created for Nikki in the sense that the main character should be her and a bunch of bears where she pretty much saves the planet.
I think so. It's me and the bears.
At least
Yeah.
the bear population.
I save Earth and all the bears on it. And your food.
And there's a realistic scenario for how it could all come into play.
Oh, my gosh.
And we talk about it in the show.
One day you're going to die from hot dogs and I'm going to be dead from a bear.
From a bear attack.
Oh, I know.
I don't know which one's worse.
I know.
Because-
Isaiah, take the show then.
I know
okay?
exactly. I'm like,
Nikki wasn't just leaving her garbage unlocked. She is just like throwing it out
Yeah.
everywhere
Bathing
to
in
try
it.
to lure the bear. She made a trail all the way from Tennessee to her home that the bears would
I
follow
did go
her.
on a bear tour, and so it is what it is. They take you up a mountain and you go around all the bears. And I was right across the street from one, like it was on the other side of the road, and I contained myself. So I wonder if I would be okay, or if it was like at a house setting and I could lock the door and keep it in. If I would really do something that I should not, to just try to get the bear closer.
yeah,
Sheesh.
I'm gonna be doing the show by myself, and there's gonna be back-to-back days where one story is man dies by having too much hot dogs, and the next one's gonna say woman's last words where I just wanted to hug the bear.
I thought it was a baby bear.
You could sum it all up right
I
there.
didn't think it would kill me. It looks so sweet and fluffy.
What a way to go.
Man ate 6,000 hot dogs in 1 year.
Well, there's other stuff in the podcast today, but I think those are the two main things.
Other stuff that doesn't tie directly into our vices. as much.
Those things don't matter. Well, thanks, guys, for listening. As always, text and say hi, 877-2-RADIO-U, and send us non-hot dog and non-bear stories.
And leave
love
a
to
nice
see
review
it.
also on the podcast.
Please do.
About how much you love hearing. That's the other thing that makes us happy.
Yep.
Bears, hot dogs, and your reviews.
And good reviews.
Yep. All right. We'll catch you next
Bye.
time.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
What I did do was go to the zoo.
Yeah.
And with my membership, and I've picked up on something that everybody does at the zoo. and that is you'll be standing there looking at the elephants, and somebody will go, "He's like." He wants to go inside. And they'll say, they're constantly telling you what the animals, they'll say, he's like. Every animal is a he, and we need to know what they're like. And that is what everybody is doing at the zoo.
So you put your feelings of what each animal was thinking on them.
Yes, exactly. And there's people that are from different countries. I don't know what language they speak, but I don't need to know because I just know they're going, he's like, and
It's like this animal.
Everybody, there's that. And then if you go in the aquarium part, the only movie that they'll relate all of the fish to Finding Nemo to their kids, right? But they don't do that. It's not like every time you see a lion, everybody's like, look, it's Mufasa or Simba from The Lion King. But if you see any fish, it's like, look, it's Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why that one. I guess we had no other frame of reference for fish.
That was it.
Before we saw Finding Nemo, so that's the only thing we can relate it to.
Aw, well, you had fun then.
Yeah, it was fun.
All the animals are like, hey, it's Hudson here. Hudson came to the zoo today.
I spent more time analyzing or observing the people at the zoo than the actual animals. But I have a membership, so I've been to the zoo so many times.
It doesn't matter then.
The animals are always there, but the people, they're very interesting.
Oh, well, again, sounds like a great weekend, right?
Yeah. I was like, there's so many people here.
Why are you guys here? It's supposed to be my time. Could you guys leave and I'll just wait here?
2 is better than 1. Unless we're talking about the Riot. The Riot, RadioU.
It's hard to remember, but college football got started in earnest over the weekend, but especially Saturday, of course, was the big day for college football. Did either of you just sit around all day watching college football, or is that only me?
I watched the UCLA LSU game.
Oh, yeah?
Because I had leftover dip from the Buckeye game. So I really did watch just to use that up, that was an amazing game.
Yeah.
So I was glad I watched it.
That was a good one. Isaiah, what about you?
I hung out pretty much all day Saturday and just had it on in the background, different games. But my favorite one was definitely the Georgia-Clemson game. Even though it was a terrible game to watch, because it was 10-3, so no one did anything.
And
the one touchdown came on defense.
Yeah, exactly. So there was literally no offense, but it was a great game, and it was between two of the best teams in the country, so that was fun too.
Yeah, that was a good sign. You're Clemson and they wound up losing. That's not a good sign, but their defense was so good.
Yeah.
Somehow I think they'll manage in the ACC. You know what stood out to me was Alabama.
Oh, my goodness.
And what I mean is, while all these other teams are screwing around, Oklahoma is struggling to beat Tulane, and Ohio State's, playing with Minnesota in the fourth quarter, whatnot. Then there's Alabama out there against a ranked team, and they're winning by like 30 points.
Yeah, that
in the
seems
first
about
game.
right.
They just always come out of the gates running, and it's like, if you're not an Alabama fan, it's tough because you just know they're going to be in the playoff again. But it's also very impressive. And again, when you contrast it with all the other top teams struggling against these little tiny schools, and Alabama's like, no, we're just going to throw Miami in the dumpster.
Yeah, that was an insane game because their quarterback was unreal. It was his very first start ever. He was unreal. He had the best start of any Alabama quarterback ever, statistically.
Yep.
And it was his very first start ever.
And it's not like Miami's defense is any slouch either.
Oh, yeah.
So that was impressive. The other thing that was funny was the Pac-12, where all of their schools, UCLA was the exception. Everybody else in the Pac-12 is supposed to be the big conference, and they were literally losing to teams from the next. What is it called? The FCS, another division down.
It felt like you should be quiet going into which game, who you thought should win, or who you thought would win, because it ended up being, they're going to lose.
Yeah, it was it was a wild weekend for sure. We actually, a lot of times the first week of college football, you don't get a lot of great games and definitely not a lot of upsets because there is such a big divide usually. But this weekend, we had some good stuff out there. And then it all got capped off on Sunday night with that guy from Florida State. His name is Mackenzie Milton.
Yep.
Playing for the first time in 2 years after his leg was destroyed. So that was pretty impressive too. It was a good weekend.
Oh,
It was
you
a
got
great
lot.
weekend.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff. That Mackenzie Milton story was crazy too, because they said like he may never play again.
Yeah.
And then he came back and played fantastic against Notre Dame. So
So are we doing any games this week on Thursday, or are we just back to like Saturday?
Thursday night, I believe, is off.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a couple games on Friday. I don't know if any of them are good.
When we change the schedule, like you have to let me know ahead of time.
yeah,
Oh, you know
I
what,
have to
though?
know so I can plan when I'm in the
Yeah.
dip.
I just
Well-
plan for Saturdays, but then
Yeah.
you're like, here's a Sunday, or here's a Friday, or here's a Thursday. You got to let me know ahead of time.
I didn't even make the connection until just now, but Thursday is completely clear of college football, and that's because the NFL starts on Thursday.
Yeah.
That's
So you got
why.
Tom Brady and the Buccaneers against the Cowboys. So there'll be something for you to dip with.
I guess. I don't usually
have
prefer that. I like college football.
Do you
Yeah.
have a different dip for NFL games, or
yeah,
do you
I
need to
just-
develop one?
And by dip, you're like, oh, it's my cheese dip.
Yeah.
You know, with the chips, in case you're like, what else is there talking about?
Yeah.
It's not tobacco.
Or like dipping as I'm just leaving.
Nikki-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nikki just got a
She
big thing
leaves
of,
early. She leaves early on game
That's
days.
it.
a big thing of chaw in her mouth.
I just need to know.
That's a
you know,
different time for
what,
Nikki.
What chip dip we should be
Yeah.
having. That's
Well,
how I plan.
It's whatever's in your heart.
Okay.
Whatever you feel fits. Tom Brady against Dak Prescott.
I'll look around. Let me see what I can find on Pinterest.
You
I'll
don't.
see.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need an excuse for dip, but it's an excuse.
It helps the games.
Yeah.
Especially when there's all these things going on and you just have to eat your way through it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's your escape.
It
your happy
helps a
place.
lot.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So Nikki, did you have what? 2 cats?
Yes, I do.
I guess they're not tired of you staying home, are they? Because you don't stay. You've never had to work from home
Well,
during the pandemic.
I haven't had him long, but yeah, my other cat, Panda, you know, he would be the one I would have had during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then he passed away like 2 months ago, so he would have been the pandemic cat.
All right. I don't want to rub salt in the wound.
Oh, no, you're fine.
But was it you that killed him by causing him so much stress?
No, it was the cancer. It was the
But
cancer.
what if the cancer
No.
developed because of the stress?
No, I don't. I it was there before.
Okay.
It was there before.
All right.
Aw, that's awful.
Well, maybe
Is that what they're saying?
not necessarily cancer, but yes, the vets in the UK, it seems, are warning people that being home all the time, working from home, and that recent change over the last year or so has caused stress levels in their cats to go way up.
Ooh, but your dogs are so happy.
Your dogs are loving it.
Your dogs are so happy that you're still at home.
Which is also probably contributing to the cat stress. If you have a cat and a dog, and the
Yeah.
dog is all happy all the time, maybe that's not helping the cat out so much. So they're seeing a spike in issues with cats that they attribute to rising stress levels of cats, which they attribute to cats not liking you being around all the time
Well,
if you're
cats-
working from home.
they sleep a lot more, and so they would sleep when you would probably go to work or have class and
Yeah.
stuff, and they needed that time. And now you're there, and you're loud
Yep.
and obnoxious.
You're typing.
And you're typing. and you're
Yeah,
having
who could
another
sleep through
meeting,
that? Who
and
could
you're-
sleep through that?
And you're just not letting them, or you're like, here, I'd like to hold you while I'm
Yeah.
doing this meeting because I need comfort. And they're just getting stressed out because their schedule's not the same. So I could totally see that. Whereas your dog is kind of the opposite. They're
Right.
so excited you're staying home and they want to be a part of your Zoom meeting.
Yeah, all the dog wants is your attention
More
and your
time.
praise. And whereas your cat is just like, please,
Leave
just
me
give me
alone.
a moment, which that is one aspect where I guess I do identify with a cat. I feel like
I just want to be left
sometimes
alone.
you just need some everybody else is at work time and you just need to chill out.
So if you have a cat and you are still working at home, or if you're just home more often, leave it alone for a bit, and I'm sure it'll be less stressed.
yeah, they say particularly the issues they're seeing are blocked bladders in male cats and cystitis in both male and female cats, and those have risen quite drastically over the last 18 months.
Because of stress?
And they say that the cause of those issues may be higher stress levels.
Oh, gosh.
From people staying home.
We have higher stress levels too.
I know.
What do we get?
Cystitis?
I don't know.
So they say if you're working from home, it's not like you're just going to leave. So they say if you want to help your cat, make sure that you give them nice, quiet places that are their own where they can go and relax without you bothering them. But isn't that, that's what you want in a pet that wants you to not bother it.
Yeah, but cats are different, but I love it. You're outside working like on your front steps and people are like, why are you outside working? Like, my cat
needs it.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We can talk about the triumphant release of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Actually, we off air were like, man, sometimes I feel like we're a bit tired of hearing about this movie.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a mean thing or a negative thing. It's just as far as like our news side of things, it has been pushed so hard for the last month that it's finally past its opening weekend. So like how much more push will there be?
Yeah, but I know from the sources I follow based off of what they do with like what they've done with the Suicide Squad, they're not going to stop talking about Shang-Chi for at least several months.
Well, everything will be compared to it. And then when it's out like on streaming service or, when it goes to Disney Plus, it'll all get brought up again.
Yeah.
So just get comfortable.
But at the end of the day, though, I guess all of the hype paid off and it was all justified because Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings came in at number 1 in the box office over the weekend by a long shot. And not only did it come in at number 1, it also over doubled the previous record for the biggest Labor Day opening weekend in box office history.
We did not know this, and I just thought wrong. It's Memorial Day weekend. That's more of a movie weekend and like 4th of July. But Labor Day weekend is actually pretty calm compared to the others.
Yep.
Because it's kind of like the last weekend for summer stuff. So people really don't see as many movies. So I think its previous number 1 from like Labor Day was like a $30 million movie.
It was Halloween. From 2007. So for 14 years, that's been the record holder. It made $30.6 million, and that's the Rob Zombie Halloween.
The version for
to
that.
make it even weirder.
So I expected Labor Day would be like, oh, yeah, you need like $200 million to like break the record. But that's not really how Labor Day weekend goes for movies. So this really did beat the record.
Yeah. So with that, when you had that in mind, it makes it seem like a really big accomplishment that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings earned $71.4 million for the U.S. box office over the weekend.
What was worldwide, or did anybody see that?
Worldwide. You think I would be prepared. It's just not mentioned in this story.
Of course it's not.
Of course not. So I don't know.
I'll look it up.
You look it up, and I will let you know that what they're wondering is now, how much would it have made if it was also like Black Widow simultaneously on Disney Plus?
Yeah, that's
Would that
true.
have been better or worse? You remember Black Widow made a ton. I think it made $80 million at the box office, and then it made like $60 million in that first week on Disney Plus alone. So could Shang-Chi have nearly doubled what it made opening weekend if they also put it on Disney Plus?
So now this movie is, because I saw this over the weekend during one of the many stories covering it, because we wondered, well, how long will it take until Disney Plus gets the movie? It will be 45 days. So it is the less, it'll be in October where this will go to Disney Plus. So people are also saying, oh, if you normally would watch it at home, some people might just wait it out until it goes out there.
That feels like what I'll do, but
I can wait 45 days.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not so excited, but I will say that so not only was the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes very, very good, of course. They gave it 92. It's earned a 92% fresh rating, and so we are just kind of skeptical of, well, what will it be when the audience gets around to seeing it? The regular people that maybe haven't been so influenced by.
Is it still high or?
98%.
Oh, 98, so it's higher. Okay.
Yeah, higher. So all in all, it seems that the Shang-Chi The release has gone off without a hitch.
Seems like it was a success. And the global opening weekend numbers for the worldwide is $139.7 million.
That seems good.
So good for them.
Yeah, I don't know what the budget was, but considering still the uneasiness everybody seems to have with the theaters, not knowing if they really love them still or not, or if they're comfortable going, making all that money seems like a pretty big accomplishment.
Well, if anybody saw it, I saw a lot of people on my social media world who said they were going to go check in and go to watch it, but I didn't see anybody's ending thoughts on it.
Yeah.
So if you liked it, let us know and just text us at 877 to Radio U.
I saw one person that I trust when it comes to Marvel movies that did go and see it and said that it was worth the hype.
They liked it? Good.
That's one person. We'll see if what everybody else thinks. And 98% of people on Rotten Tomatoes.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Apple Cider Donut
Oh,
Oreos.
man, the second you open it up, it's like a candle.
It's like the weirdest description of a cookie. It smells just like a candle.
But that's not a bad thing.
It's so strong, and it's kind of like, yes, when you have a candle, that's a really strong apple cider sort of feel to it. So this has some power to it.
To make this Oreo, they walked by a Bath and Body Works at the mall, and
they just picked one.
Sucked it up, and
They just pointed and picked one.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, can we borrow your, would it be the fragrance department? We would like to make an apple cider donut Oreo, and we think your smell is perfect.
Yeah.
So they smell super good.
They do. It really is nice. We should try lighting it on fire and see if it works.
Yeah, why don't you try that on your side of the room?
It smells up the whole room.
Hey, our boss comes in. They're like, what did you do? You're like, oh, it lights on fire.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a wick thing, but
It's a
it's
candle.
fine.
It smells great in here, though.
Well, Isaiah, are you into apple cider sort of flavors?
I like apple cider, but I'm worried just based off the smell of this that I'm not going to like it.
Really?
The smell
Because
is
it's
like
too artificial?
It's so aggressive smelling wise that I feel like I might not like it.
I think these are going to be good.
So apple cider, maybe that's the middle, and then the donut is the cookie or something like that. I don't know.
Good question.
But it's going to be
Good
heavy
point.
on the apple cider.
All right. Well, I'm going to give... Does it look to you guys, does yours have 2 layers, or do I just have a ripply cookie?
No, mine has 2 layers
Mine has
too.
2 as well, yeah.
So one's the apple cider and one's the donut?
Ooh.
Although when you have
Maybe.
apple cider donuts, it's all rolled into one. So why would they make 2 layers? Let's just try it.
Probably
Do you want
easier
me
that
to
way.
get Oreo?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to them
Overthinking it.
directly?
Overthinking it.
All right, we'll try a donut. Well.
That is
Okay.
a strong apple flavor.
Yeah, it's
But
not as strong as I thought it would be based on the smell. But I don't know where the donut comes in and where the apple comes in.
yeah. Do you taste do you feel the little crystals that would be like the
Oh, there's sugar on the
coating
donut?
on the
I do.
donut?
I didn't know that was
That's
on there.
a nice touch.
I do feel those.
That just means they didn't mix it well.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, let's just let it go through. They're not as maybe amazing as I thought they would be. They're still, it's a good apple cider donut flavor, but it's not, I don't know. I just thought it'd be more.
I don't
I
really
think they're
know
pretty
what I
good.
expected it to taste like, but I expected, I don't know why, but kind of similar to Nikki, I kind of expected a little bit more.
Dude, I
of
want a
something.
candle now, not
Yeah.
this. So, I'll take that. Bring that. If they brought a candle in the packaging,
Yeah.
They should do that. They should team up with Yankee Candle or something.
something like that. I
for a
bet you it's
promotion.
really good with maybe a coffee or
Maybe a,
apple cider.
maybe
No,
some milk.
Milk.
Some milk.
You can have that. Isaiah just wants milk.
Just a glass of milk. That would make this. You know what? if
Actually-
this had some milk with it, it would
It'd
be
be
better.
I do
Perfect.
hate to say that Isaiah's probably right. This might be better with milk. I'd split mine open. I want to see what if you just go for the filling and
Yeah.
if you just go for the Oreo cookie part.
So it's
what
the
different
apple cider
experience is.
donut Oreos, and they do have a good flavor. It's just, I feel like we've done all these flavors.
Yeah. Like the flavor is strong. It's not like it lacks flavor. It's just I don't love the flavor.
Sure,
I'm
it
sure if
makes
you
sense.
really liked this kind of flavor, you would like it.
It's
What do you
weird
think?
when you separate the cream out of it.
Yeah.
It has even it's not as strong of a taste, which you wouldn't expect, right? Because you think the cookie part would get in the way of a strong cream flavor.
Yeah, but for some reason it's in the outside. It's in the cookie part too.
I don't know. Maybe they just bring it out of each other.
I felt like the cookie didn't have I felt like the cream was the majority of the flavor.
Yeah, that's what I would have. That's what I thought. I mean, it still is. The cookie is pretty bland. I think it's just the typical like golden Oreo style. So I don't know. I guess you just need the cookie to bring out the flavor in the cream.
Maybe if I was eating these while I was apple picking, like I need to go all in.
It needs to be fall out. There needs to be a little bit of red in the leaves and the trees.
You need to be at a pumpkin festival or something.
Some sort of the boots and the hoodie and all that stuff. I need that in order to really experience this flavor.
Well, I don't know. I think I like it more than you guys, so I guess I'll take the package if you guys don't want it.
You're going to take it to the break
have
room. Everybody else wanted to try these.
Yeah.
So the Apple Cider Donut Oreos, that's new from them. That's their limited flavor right now.
They're going to be out there tempting us, at least for a little while.
Well, I know every time we go in the break room, they're just good enough to where you'd probably go grab one every time.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's you're right. That's about the ranking. Just good enough. That you're when you see it there, you're going to be like, yeah, I could have one.
I could have one more for today.
Yeah.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on RadioU.
That in Lake Tahoe, in the Lake Tahoe area where they've been having the Caldor fire, right? Mm-hmm. And so they evacuated all of the homes there, and some people were raising a fuss about it and whatever, but they just lifted the mandatory evacuation order. So now it's just a warning. But in the meantime, while everybody was gone, they saw a rash of break-ins into the homes there, the vacant homes.
Did someone stay back and start breaking into places?
Well, it was the Bears. The Bears were doing it.
Now, I don't want to. Why don't we say allegedly? Okay. Why don't we treat this like if it was someone who was human?
How could they know it was the Bears if nobody's around? If a bear breaks into a house and everybody's been evacuated,
will anyone hear
it still make a sound?
Well, thanks to security cameras being so popular, I'm sure you can see exactly who's breaking into your place.
Yep. So they've said that the Bears, once 22,000 people were evacuated from South Lake Tahoe, the Bears basically said this is fair game, and so without anybody around to scare them away,
they just got into all the houses.
Yeah, they've been breaking in everywhere, and I guess mostly looking for food. So it feels like a movie, doesn't it?
It does.
Where the Bears
alone.
Yeah, it's like one of those movies where everybody gets abducted by aliens or something, and one person gets left behind, or a group of people, and they're living it up. Because they think nobody else is here, we can do whatever we want. So the Bears are having parties in the lake houses and whatever, doing cannonballs into the lake.
I don't know if we can add aliens to the story.
Yeah.
I feel like that limits the networks that are going to pick up on the story. But I think it was simple. Like it reflects what they were doing.
Yeah.
Everybody else evacuated. The Bears came in. They found one person who didn't evacuate, and they got to work together to get out of the fire.
The Bears didn't realize at first why everybody was gone.
That's right.
And then the fire starts rolling in,
and the Bears magically
panic.
talk.
Yep. The Bears they don't know how to fight fires. So it's up to the human to work together with them to evacuate them.
Dude, this is why I can't live anywhere where there's bears, because I'd be like, yeah, come on in. I'd leave the door open with everything, food, just like I would leave a trail of food up the porch.
Yeah.
Right into the house.
You'd be the perfect human to be the one left behind with all the bears in the movie. And here's how it all resolves. You get all the bears together. You get on a house.
Welcome them.
You get them on a houseboat, and you go out in the middle of Lake Tahoe. How's the fire going to get you? And it's a houseboat, so you've got all the supplies you need right there.
I think eventually when the food runs out, I'm the food then.
That's the sequel. That's the sequel is the bears. You've exhausted all the supplies.
Oh, my gosh. It'd be Bear Boat 1 and 2.
Bear Boat 1 and 2. Yes. Yes, it's perfect.
So they're saying that now that, the people who evacuated are coming back. This is real life now. The Bear Boat wasn't, but now that they're coming back, they've found that there's so many. And they said that because everybody left in such a rush, there was so much trash from the evacuation. So the bears themselves, they just see an increase of them being in the neighborhood areas, and that just led to them coming even closer.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
So you love Goldfish, but here's the problem with Goldfish. Have you ever noticed the bag of Goldfish is too big to fit in any of your pockets?
You mean the crackers?
Yeah, not the actual fish.
Well, you have to say that. I mean,
Do
you're
you?
Like, what part of goldfish? you should say not the real ones.
You love having a pet goldfish, but you can't take it with you everywhere. Well,
And
maybe.
I know you assume every time we talk about something on this show, it is food related.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows. So with this goldfish crackers, although maybe if you wanted to take your goldfish pet with you everywhere you go, this might work for that also. It is an official partnership, Goldfish Crackers teaming up with Junko Jeans. Is that how you say it right, Nikki?
Well, I think it's just Jeanco.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. but
JNC. I thought you would know since you're always wearing them.
I know my jeans have to be skinny.
Really?
I find that more flattering than these are these really wide pants that were from the 90s.
Yep. And that's part of the partnership.
So you have to have big enough pants to fit
They're kind of going back in time a little bit, where they're going back in time with this 90s jeans brand, and they are doing what they consider to be a 90s flavor, which is jalapeno popper.
Oh, I bet that's good.
Yeah, doesn't that seem good? And what they've done is they've teamed up with, however you say, JNCO jeans from
and
the 90s.
You have to buy the jeans to get them.
Yeah, and then they have the pockets that are big enough to hold an entire bag of goldfish.
But can't I just buy the Goldfish crackers? Why do I have to buy the
think,
pants?
Right? You would think that they would just make this more readily available.
Maybe eventually. The pants and the Goldfish crackers are $200. So that's why we're not doing a food fight item.
You know, if you just kind of separate it out and you're thinking the jeans are $100 and the goldfish are $100.
Does that make it better?
No.
Okay. I was going to say you tend to not want to buy things. It seems like,
never.
or not unless there's a coupon code or something. So I don't
Is
think
there a
you'd buy
coupon
these.
code for these jeans that I would never wear?
I think I'd pay $20 for the whole set.
All right. Listen up, everybody. Nikki paid $14 for Nashville hot Cheetos, so
I did.
$200 for a pair of goldfish crackers with a pair of pants seems like nothing for you.
I don't know if I would wear these pants out.
You don't know?
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Unless it was for the food fight day.
That would be
day
great.
you tried them.
That would be great. Think of the Instagram post.
Nope.
You could do with these jeans on.
Nope. No, thank you.
They might fit. They might be a good personality for you.
They
might
Nope.
just work right in with your style.
Nope. That's not my style.
I think it could be.
It's not. That could be your
Junko
style.
jeans. I'm sure that's. Why do I think that's how it's pronounced?
It could be. I've never worn them before.
Why does everything in our show always come up to us not knowing how to pronounce things?
Well, we know Goldfish crackers.
We do. That one's easy.
You've never tried. They have these vanilla cupcake ones. I don't like the cheese ones, but the vanilla cupcake Goldfish crackers, that's actually pretty good.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, you remember what the weekend was? The end of hot dog season.
Some would say. Some might say that. Not me.
Thank goodness.
We can wrap up hot dogs.
I was gonna make sure I went out with a bang. For if it was the end of hot dog season, I was gonna get in all the hot dogs I could.
So you can't wear white anymore or eat hot dogs.
Apparently not. Apparently some kind of secret cabal is making these rules that are going to prevent me from eating hot dogs after Labor Day. So the picture is, if you haven't seen it yet, is I'm sitting at a bonfire because I went camping in my backyard just to, get out under the stars and whatever. And
get out under the stars. Get a hot dog or two in me.
Usually, a hot dog or two. Usually, when I go camping in the backyard, it's really an excuse for me to build a fire.
Yeah.
And when it was a fire, I just so happened. Actually, there's another picture I can show you where I was at Sam's Club over the weekend. And so I bought so many hot dogs.
You did?
Oh, my gosh.
So then I was like, hey, I just happen to have these, and I happen to have a fire.
And?
So I'm going to make some hot dogs. And so the picture my wife took of me, I'm eating a hot dog in one hand. My other hand has the stick with another hot dog in the fire.
He's doubling down.
Yes.
Hudson, I think we are worried at this point. I mean, I don't know if the hot dogs for you will ever stop. You can't quit them.
Ideally, they won't because they're so good.
But you're supposed to stop now. Labor Day's over. We're not supposed to have hot dogs
but that's
anymore.
just who made that rule?
It's an important rule because in this photograph, my favorite part about the whole picture is how happy he looks. He just looks so happy.
So you guys don't want me to be happy.
Exactly.
All of a sudden.
I'm just afraid that the hot dogs are the only thing that makes you happy anymore.
Yeah, I know. I've never seen you look like that in here.
Started out, I was eating hot dogs just to feel good. Now I'm eating hot dogs just to feel anything at all.
So what happens when the hot dogs aren't enough anymore?
Yeah. What's the next level, man? I don't know. That picture does make me feel like
Happy?
no, I was gonna say like a chain hot dogger. You know?
Chain hot dogger.
I don't know. At this
I eat
point,
a pack a day.
we need to look into rehab or some sort of retreat that we can send you on just to get you out of hot dogs.
A hot dog retreat doesn't
Did you
sound
bring
so
any
bad.
for today?
No, I have leftovers that are not hot dog related.
What are they, brats?
Sausage.
Sausages?
Yeah.
It's spicy.
I know your word games.
Spicy penne al vodka. It has nothing to do with
Penne,
hot
which
dogs.
is shaped like what?
A hot dog.
All right, now you're stretching it now.
He's like, I don't have any hot dogs. I have a corn dog.
Oh, well, let's just
Yeah.
keep an eye on Hudson as he posts a picture. So if you go to RadioU Official on Instagram, we're going to post it there. But if you want to see what Hudson looks like happy and hot dog is right there.
You know, what's funny about the picture, too, if you look closely, I think you see my dog is outside also, and she's giving me a look. One, she couldn't get enough of the hot dogs either. But when the picture was taken, there, it's really good with her kind of giving me a raised eyebrow.
little
side eye.
What are you doing?
Yeah, your dog's concerned too.
Even as much as my dog likes hot dogs, even she was like, I think you need to give it a break.
Not so much.
Even she was looking in judgment.
All right. Well, for everybody else, if you follow the no hot dogs after Labor Day rule, I think that's actually more like you just don't cook out anymore.
Yeah.
But Hudson will make him anyway.
Yeah.
Any way he can.
Hey, you can come over. I don't care about hot dog prohibition. I'll have what do they call it? A speakeasy?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have a hot dog
He'll have hot dogs
speakeasy.
ready for everybody. If you guys need hot dogs,
Yeah.
they stop selling them in the stores. Hudson will find a way to have them for you.
That's
I've got a
right.
stash, and if the feds come, I just hit the thing and the bar flips around, and nobody's the wiser.
And it hides,
They think we're just eating penne al vodka.
but it's hot dogs.
It's hot dogs.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I was feeding ducks, which makes me sound so old. But
You went to the zoo. You went to
I
the
went
park.
to the zoo. Oh,
You
come
were
on. You can
outside?
go to the zoo and not be old.
I'm teasing you, but like you're really more into the outside than I thought you were.
It was the last weekend of summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might be too busy being inside watching college football the rest of the year to be able to enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah,
So I was
well-
out. And did you know, Nikki, you're not supposed to feed bread to ducks?
Correct.
You knew that?
I did know that.
So do you still feed them?
I don't go to the park to feed them
You
in the
don't-
first
Well, yeah, but what if you happen to be at the park?
I can't tell you what a alternate would be, but I think the bread like bloats up in their stomach.
Really?
And I think you're killing them.
See, that's what I looked up. I was like, well, if I'm not supposed to feed it bread, what do you
else?
feed to the ducks?
It's
And-
kind of like you're not supposed to throw like rice at weddings
Really?
because birds will come and eat them.
Uh-huh.
And that also, I think, explodes in their stomach.
Really? Because you know what I've
It's
never.
not good.
I looked it up.
Feed
I
them
was,
hot dogs.
Yeah, I should have, right? I'm
It's
sure they would love
protein,
that.
it's fine.
I did feed some bread to the ducks.
Aw, you monster.
Am I a murderer?
I was going to say that. You monster.
But I know they say you're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're not.
But it's not like you're seeing dead ducks lying around.
You don't know.
From the
They
bread,
go walk into the woods and they
People
die there.
have been feeding bread to ducks for years, and somehow the ducks have still survived. They're still alive. Are
I
they
bet
even
you-
endangered or anything?
No, I think our bread's more harmful than probably back in the day
Do
when
you
they're like
think?
they made their own
In
bread.
the 50s or
Yes.
something? When
They
was the height of bread duck feeding?
They say that if you want to feed ducks, we don't have any of this stuff. Cracked corn, oats, rice, birdseed, frozen peas, lettuce, chopped
See?
lettuce, or sliced grapes. What are they going to choke on it?
But
You have to chop
you
the
have to
grapes
slice it
up.
up. But see,
You have to put
you're right.
more care into the duck's food than your own
What was the
food.
first few things you said again?
Cracked corn.
Cracked
and
corn?
oats.
Who has cracked corn?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
These aren't exactly viable alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, again, I fed the ducks some bread. And you know what the ducks were doing?
What?
Going crazy for it.
Because they're not
fighting all
supposed
over
to.
each other.
It's the forbidden.
Yeah. But it's like giving us the apple cider donut Oreos. And I feel that if I was out there throwing cracked corn and barley and frozen peas, I don't think the ducks would be like all falling all over each other, trying to bite each other's heads off to get to the frozen peas. I don't think that's what the
Probably
scenario.
not the same. They say it's also bad for the environment, though I'm trying to look up why.
Okay, go on.
Well, I just haven't found it yet. Every time we look something up, they're like, and it's bad for the environment.
Yeah.
But why is it
You
bad for the
can't just say
environment?
that. We need to know.
Dude, how great would it be? You're on a low carb diet. You're going to go walk at the park.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's just bread everywhere trying to tempt you.
Yeah. And then you're in the river with the ducks.
Yeah, 'cause
going
you're-
after it.
Because, man, you lost it for a moment and you're doing anything for bread.
What if frozen pea? This whole thing is probably come up with by the frozen pea lobby.
Oh, to
They're
get
like, I know how
someone?
we'll get bread out of the public eye and get our name out there. We'll say you can feed it to ducks.
Well, don't do it next time because it is supposed to be bad for them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the ducks, even if it's bad for them, you know what? We eat stuff that's bad for us. So who
Like
are we
what?
to say?
Turn this full circle. Like what?
Hot dogs?
There it is.
But who are we? I still eat them. So who are we to say that if we can't withhold ourselves from eating things that are not necessarily good for us, why can't we afford ducks the same luxury? Maybe they just want to live a little. They just want to have a cheat day. I think I made those ducks very happy.
You did.
Over the weekend.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.